So apparently there has been a slappening of Iran. This was posted yesterday by the Post Millennial. You see, the Ayatollah wanted to take credit for winning the war after his country got smacked into oblivion in their little spat with Israel. And so Donald Trump apparently is now abandoning a plan to lift sanctions on Iran after Ayatollah's lie. Let's see what this is all about. Let's see. President Trump said that he has abandoned plans to lift sanctions on Iran after Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei falsely claimed that Iran won the conflict that has played out over the past few weeks. The Ayatollah is trying to maintain his power in his country, and he is desperate for his people not to think that he's a coward, which, of course, he is, but also a coward with common sense, because there's no way you're going to win against the Israel country, against Israel and against the United States. Just not going to happen. So Trump posted this on Truth Social, saying, why would the so-called supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, of the war-torn country of Iran say so blatantly and foolishly that he won the war with Israel when he knows this statement is a lie? It is not so. Well, I mean, Iran is a propaganda spewing regime. That's all they do. They propagandize their own people from the cradle to the grave. So, I mean, this is par for the course. But, of course, Trump knows this. He's using them as content because he is the content president. Anyway, he says, as a man of great faith, he is not opposed to lie. He's not supposed to lie. His country was decimated. His 3 evil nuclear sites were obliterated. And I knew exactly where he was sheltered and would not let Israel or the U.S. Armed Forces, by far the greatest and most powerful in the world, terminate his life. I saved him from a very ugly and ignominious death. And he does not have to say thank you, President Trump. It's just, oh God, the content president is here. We are living in the era of social media, my friends. Anyway, Trump says, in fact, in the final act of the war, I demanded that Israel bring back a very large group of planes which were headed directly to Tehran, looking for a big day, perhaps the final knockout. Tremendous damage would have ensued and many Iranians would have been killed. It was going to be the biggest attack of the war by far. During the last few days, I was working on the possible removal of sanctions and other things, which would have given a better chance to Iran at a full, fast, and complete recovery. The sanctions are biting. But no, instead, I get hit with a statement of anger, hatred, and disgust, and immediately dropped all work on sanction relief and more. Iran has to get back into the world order flow, or things will only get worse for them. They're always so angry, hostile, and unhappy. And look at what it has gotten them. A burned out, blown up country with no future, a decimated military, a horrible economy, and death all around them. They have no hope, and it will only get worse. I wish the leadership of Iran would realize that you often get more with honey than you do with vinegar and peace. The problem is that Iran has but one purpose. No matter what some egghead wants to tell you, Iran has a couple of set objectives that they are out to do. From the cradle to the grave, they propagandize their children. They propagandize their people. It's all about exporting their revolution to the rest of the world. First, they will eradicate Israel. Once they've killed everyone in Israel, once they've conquered that territory, then it's on to the West and to America. That is the sole purpose of this regime, these crazy nut job, wacko, douchebag radicals. And a lot of people in the West try to pretend that that's not the case, but it is. I've even spoken with a few people who came from Iran, born and raised there. And they can confirm that, that every day at school, it's a reminder. It's propaganda about how Israel equals bad, the West equals bad, and it's all about spreading the revolution. They can't help themselves. They're a nation of hate. They're a nation of evil. They have a radical version of their religion that wants death to everyone who opposes them. They're infidels. To pretend otherwise, well, is to be retarded, and we don't want to do that here. Now, Trump made a similar statement at the White House in reaction to the Ayatollah's false claim of victory, and the comments from Trump came after the supreme leader of Iran claimed earlier this week that the Islamic Republic was victorious and, in retaliation, delivered a hand slap to America's face. And I wonder, too. There was an attempt at overthrowing the Ayatollah back in 2022 and 2023, which the U.S. did not support and eventually faltered and failed. With a weakened Iran, with a lot of the power brokers dead, annihilated, slaughtered by both Israel and the US, well, mostly Israel here, I wonder if his days are numbered. They may not be, but I also wouldn't be surprised if in the not-too-distant future we hear of regime change without a single boot on the ground of any U.S. troops, which flies in the face of all the crying, all the hand-wringing from not just the predictable left, the radical goobers on the left, but from the smooth-brained people on the right, the grifters, people like Candace Owens, the snake, the backstabber. Or like the Hodgkin twins, who couldn't help themselves and then didn't have a way to back out gracefully, and so didn't. Trump is not about putting troops on the ground. This is something that I think people need to get through their thick skulls. It would shock me to no end if the U.S. actually got in a ground war again, at least under his administration. Just saying.